All right, guys, everybody thinks that we're headed towards Golden State, Cleveland, Part 4. 93% of the GMs think that Golden State repeats. Putting aside, I wonder what the other 7% are thinking at this point. Is there anything out there, any team out there that can shake this thing up and surprise you, Scott?
So it starts out with Isaiah Thomas. If Isaiah is good like he was last year, I would say no. But let's just throw that out there for a conversation. If Isaiah is banged up or he's not at the level he was last year, you know the team I really like and no one's talking about is the Washington Wizards. They played the Celtics last year tough. After the series was tied up 2-2, Washington absolutely dominated that series, but the Celtics had 2 wins based on unbelievable performance by Isaiah Thomas. I really like Washington. I think all those guys were motivated by that Game 7 loss. I think they take that next step.
Mike, the number that matters in Washington, 48-5. That was Game 7, bench production. Celtics, that was the game Kelly Olynyk went nuts. John Wall complained about the bench at various times during the offseason. Did they get better there? Do they have enough with that bench?
I don't know if they have enough, but what they do have is continuity. I mean, they do bring back everybody, and that's going to be key. I mean, you look at the East right now, Boston is pretty much starting over with a whole new team, you know, just 4 guys back from last year and no starters. And then you have Cleveland. They traded Kyrie Irving. They're pretty much starting with a brand new bunch as well. Washington's bringing everybody back that matters. You know, John Wall's coming back. He's going to be determined, and Bradley Beal the same. Those guys felt like they could have given Cleveland a run last year. I mean, that's what really got them fired up. Not just that they lost Game 7. They really thought they were going to give Cleveland a chance in that series, because if you look at their regular season matchup, Cleveland could not keep up with them, and they gave them a lot of trouble. So Bradley Beal made his comments like they didn't want us. I honestly think that there was something to the fact that Cleveland didn't really care about getting the number 1 seed. I don't think they wanted to get the Wizards in the conference semis, honestly. And I think that the Wizards know that in the back of their minds, that they feel like they should have beat Boston and they should have given Cleveland a serious run in the conference finals.
Scal, here's my question. If the Wizards play Boston again, you think Washington takes Boston this year?
I think it's going to take a lot of time. Remember, Jay Crowder's 40% three-point shooter, plays good defense. Avery Bradley, 38% three-point shooter and plays good defense. They lost a lot of those type of guys, which allowed Isaiah to be that guy. I think it's going to take time for Kyrie, Brad Stevens, and all these guys to get on the same page. If that happens late, you're relying on a rookie, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown to really step up and take their game to it's not like for Jaylen Brown an all-star level, but right below that, that's a lot to ask. I think when Celtics made this trade, I think they understood that this year they might take a little bit of a step backwards for raising the ceiling and moving forward, which is probably next year.
I would say this, though. It's the Eastern Conference. You can basically have scrimmages against Atlanta, Chicago, Orlando. I mean, the number of just putrid teams in the East that you can be, you can sort of work your kinks out again and still get wins is astonishing this year. All right, but out West, Golden State still the kingpin. They rolled through the Western Conference playoffs last year. Shams, anybody in the West that you can see giving them a game?
Chris, they're talking about the Wizards in the East. I'm looking at Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Western Conference.
The ultimate wild card team in the West.
I think Carmelo Anthony, he had Oklahoma City in his mind all the way back in April. He was telling friends, people on the Knicks, this is the team that I'm looking at. Obviously, Houston became an ultimate attraction for him because of Chris Paul, his relationship with him. But I think he's going to realize here soon that joining
Paul George
and Russell Westbrook is a much better tandem than Chris Paul and James Harden. When you think about competing against Golden State, they're an athletic bunch. You got to have defenders, guys who play two ways. I think that's going to be the spot for Carmelo to really have a real crack at getting to the NBA championship.
He's incredibly interesting to me because I think Paul George will figure it out. I have some questions about Westbrook changing his game. Russell Westbrook likes the way he plays. Russell Westbrook is good with the way he plays. How much will he evolve as a player? But Scal, we saw, and people I talked to in the NBA hate this comparison, but the Olympics, Carmelo Anthony was great as a power forward. Do you think he's going to have the mindset? Do you think he'll be successful as a full-time power forward?
100%. No, I thought that 2 years ago he should have been playing stretch 4, playing off the ball. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, the Warriors can match up small. You can go Kevin Durant at the 4, Draymond Green at the 5. That's why it's going to be tough for those guys to overcome it. Their ability to go small and still defend and rebound makes them special. That's why I think I love Oklahoma City throughout the regular season. I also love them in the playoffs. I think they beat Houston. I just don't think they can get over that Death Star lineup, which gave everyone problems last year.
I'm also concerned about the depth at OKC because you're very top-heavy with their other 3 guys. And, Steven Adams, I think we expect him to have a better year than he had last year. But who's going to be that other guy that raises his game?
What about my boy Patrick Patterson?
Well, yeah.
Give respect where respect is due.
Plus, I think Steven Adams is going to have a better year. I think they built a wall on him, around him last year with nobody. So, look, I'm hoping it's Oklahoma City, Golden State. Oh, the hatred. Oh, give me the hatred. Give me.
I think they have the athleticism, the two-way players that match up.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's definitely going down as Cleveland, Golden State, round 4. But if something does happen, I like Washington, and OKC is their
Washington, OKC in the.
Am I like the only guy that thinks San Antonio's got a shot?
Yep.
That's an argument for another day. We'll do more.
Okay.
For more on all this, check us out over at thevertical.com.